Well, she's a great minds think alike and doing it wrong or wrong. That's right.
I don't want to. It's never white.
Wow.
I suspect
Are you
she's.
gonna be?
Probably. She's doing odds.
Oh, here, right. Oh, no. Let's put it in.
Look, you're kind of
You on one side? I said, hey, you on one side? This all been played, right?
Look, what's that gonna do? You're trying to relation about what it's all. That ain't right. So she has to discuss her business on Monday. What?
That was supposed to wear white tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't call.
I should have called you, Dad.
I wasn't told you to wear white.
You didn't see it on the website?
I didn't see it on the website.
Oh, he's updated now. Now you can see the body whisper. Do not whisper.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Janet's.
I can't have my camera. He's stolen his secret, Chris. Every time it is about 20 seconds.
Are you gonna do the recording?
Yes. I can do Stacy.
Just that.
We gotta have a rebuttal.
Let's be very careful.
3 minutes.
I want to wear half of it.
Put it in there, maybe how we do
So we didn't do.
Are you up to hire? I would have enough permission to do that. Go after the committee. After the committee. Oh, golly, 20,000. I didn't need to know this.
You doing all this tonight? Can't you just do the back? Okay.
He put a lot of effort into
The Indians are really.
Y'all get as bad as a classroom of unruly students. I do. You ready to go on? You got yours done? Yeah, I got it.
We got it now, we don't have to listen to it. We can just highlight it.
If this been like you're going up through on the website, go on.
I got jokes and everything. Y'all be here all week too, won't you?
Yeah.
You got a tough crowd here. Tell you what, they're booing before it even started.
Howard's got a Mexican tomatoes up here.
If you have a standing ovation, maybe only half of us.
Do what?
If you have a standing ovation, maybe only half of us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand for the backside. I know you're going to cry, that's it. I think they need one of them clocks up there that does that countdown.
No, I don't. We're ready to start. Are you leaving?
I'll be right on the bottom, gosh. Good.
It's your turn, Mayor.
That's not your district.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call to order the City Council meeting of Monday, February 4, 2019. At this time, please stand with us for the invocation. Bow with us, please. Dear God, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this day. We rejoice to be citizens of the city of Temple. And we thank you for the citizens, and we thank you for this council. And I pray you direct us as we go about the business of this city here tonight. You give us wisdom, knowledge, and discernment to make the decisions that are beneficial to this city. We pray for those in our city that are sick and afflicted, that you would touch them, give them healing. Those that are grieved, we pray you give them comfort. And Lord, we just pray that you'd bless each one in every endeavor they go about. We praise you and thank you for this country and the freedom we have. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the published agenda of this day's city council meeting as presented.
Make that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstain? All right, next on our agenda is the swearing in of new council member, Ms. Holly Miller. Ms. Miller, if you will come join me up here. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, Holly Miller, do solemnly affirm
Do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
the duties of council member
the duties of council member
of this city,
of this city,
and that I will support
and that I will support
and defend the charter thereof,
and defend the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution
as well as the Constitution
and laws of the state of Georgia
and laws of the state of Georgia
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
Congratulations. At this time, we would invite Councilmember Miller to share any comments that she would like to share.
Looking forward to a great year, and thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, now that brings us to the next agenda item, which is report on February 2019 appointments of officers of city council committees. And with the installment of Ms. Miller into the position of Ward 3, our committee organization is as follows for the year 2019. Personnel Committee, Chairperson Richard Bracknell, Member Howard Walden. Budget and Finance, Chairperson Taryn Divins, Member Howard Walden. Parks and Recreation and Senior Center, Chairperson Richard Bracknell, Member Holly Miller. Public Safety, Chairperson Howard Walden, Member Taryn Divins. Public Works, Chairperson Tom Wallace, Member Richard Bracknell. And Community Development, Chairperson Holly Miller, Member Tom Wallace. And of course, also members of each one of these committees is myself as mayor and City Administrator Bill Osborne. All right, next brings us to the next item on our agenda is the State of the City Address. Before I begin, I want to express some thank yous. First to the staff and their assistance in bringing this to be, and also special thanks to City Administrator Mr. Bill Osborne. His help, his assistance was vital to the production of this State of the City Address. At this time of year, it is traditional for a business, a government, or an organization to reflect back on the past, to look ahead at what appears to its future, and to identify where things seem to be at the present time. The resulting document is a status report. So as the mayor of the City of Temple, during tonight's regular monthly meeting of the City Council, I shall make my annual State of our City report to you and to the citizens of this wonderful community. I have completed my first year as mayor. I have enjoyed and appreciated my inaugural year as the elected leader of the City of Temple. It is an honor to serve in this capacity, and I pledge to each of you that I will do my best to lead and to guide this city so current challenges will be remembered as becoming stepping stones to success. I believe the city of Temple has a bright future, and all of us can be a part of making sure our future is very good. For me, in the new position of serving as your mayor, 2018 was a challenging and an exciting year. Holding elective office for the first time and having the responsibility and the pleasure of working with the members of the city council, I feel good about our accomplishments of 2018 and about our plans for this new year. As we enter 2019, I felt very positive about the spirit of cooperation which now exists among the City of Temple's elected officials. Certainly, there will be differences of opinion, and not all votes are going to be unanimous, but I believe all 6 of us are committed to teamwork for the benefit of this community, and you can see the results of that spirit of cooperation as you look back at 2018. Water and sewer services. Although some good efforts have been made in the past to correct the fiscal and operational problems which have hindered improvements in the city's water and sewer services, I can report that in 2018, this city's elected officials worked together to finalize a plan and to take action to stabilize our revenue situation. Following a detailed water and sewer study, rates were increased in order to generate additional needed funds for operations and for debt retirement payments. This was an important first step in the process. Even though the rate structure was changed, the city was able to continue a discount in the water and sewer base rate charges for senior customers. Also, we continue to charge a lower base rate for water services and sewer services for small non-residential customers as compared with the regular commercial customer rates. Actions taken by us to implement water and sewer rate structure changes and various operational changes are intended to improve the city's fiscal status and to bring the city into compliance with our covenant requirements with the bank that issued bonds a few years ago for the upgrading of our water distribution and sewer treatment facilities. At the end of calendar 2018, the City of Temple was getting close to finalizing a plan to maintain the system's fiscal integrity and to initiating a refinancing plan to handle the $4.6 million balloon note which comes due on January 1, 2021. I look forward to the time in the near future when these arrangements can be put in place. Working through various problems which have hindered the city's utility billing and collection processes in recent years, in 2018 we were able to complete the transition from Harris TBS to the new Casell system. We still are working on problems of various complexities and priorities. However, each month is bringing us closer to having a smooth and seamless billing process. Problems still occur, but their number and their magnitude are declining. The biggest remaining change and challenge is to replace the City of Temple's old water meter. Currently, almost 1,800 of our some 2,000 water meters must be read manually. This is a labor-intensive process and a time-consuming process as compared with the electronic remote reading of the newer models of water meters. In the 2019 capital fund budget adopted in December 2018, the City Council set aside $400,000 from the water fund and from SPLOST revenues for the purchase and installation of new remote read water meters. At the end of the year, the city was working on those specifications and bid arrangements preparatory to a solicitation of proposals from the 6 major manufacturers of water meters. Simultaneously, we are looking into a couple of financial options because we want to have for the citizens of Temple the best operating system we can have along with the best fiscal arrangements we can make. Currently, both the water system and the sewer system have frequent service delivery problems due to their aging infrastructure. Many of you during the past year experienced low water pressure problems or even service interruptions because of old water lines breaking. The sewage collection system is aging, and major maintenance problems occur from time to time at one of the city's 13 sewer lift stations. There are major challenges in keeping the very important sewer lift station on Villa Rosa Road in service and in preventing sewer spills when heavy rains produce tremendous amounts of stormwater runoff. coupled sometimes with a power outage at that lift station. More than half of the sewage which flows to the city's sewer treatment plant from the other 12 lift stations passes through the Villa Rosa lift station. At some point, it must be expanded or rebuilt. Roads and tracks. Working with the Georgia Department of Transportation, GDOT, the City of Temple in 2018 continued its limited street resurfacing and improvement program. Another small number of streets will be resurfaced in 2019. A disappointment has been GDOT's continuing delay of making improvements to the US Highway 78, Georgia Highway 113 intersection adjacent to City Hall. We completed our part of pre-construction work some months ago, and we look forward to, in 2019 to this intersection being improved, and we hope it will be soon. A major action in 2018 directly pertaining to road improvements within the City of Temple and the adjacent areas of unincorporated Carroll County was the rejection by voters of a dedicated sales tax for transportation purposes. While I certainly respect this decision by the voters in November, the defeat of the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, TSLOS, referendum likely will mean very few road projects will be done in Temple and elsewhere in Carroll County during the next few years. We had what I still consider to be an excellent specific list of projects to be funded through TSLOS, but these projects now have no funding source, and this includes some improvements to the current railroad situation in Temple. As you may recall, the city established a special fee a couple of years ago, which is applicable to the several residential subdivisions that had been started before the recession hit, and many developers subsequently went bankrupt. Eventually, different parts of those properties were sold to various builders whose interest was limited to building on their lots without regard for the entire subdivision's final appearance and the condition of its streets. In order to generate the funds needed to bring the streets condition up to city code, the City Council enacted the Roadway and Infrastructure Projects Improvement Fee. The builder of each new house in the subdivision must pay this fee, and the funds are to be used to pay for the final layer of road surfacing work and for related public works items. The fee is different for each subdivision because it is calculated to generate the projected cost to finish the infrastructure work in that specific development. However, the maximum amount of this fee per lot is $2,500. Let me note that at the end of 2018, this special fee applied to 6 subdivisions which had been started before the recession and now are being completed. In each of these subdivisions, as each new housing unit is permitted by the city for construction, this fee is paid to the city government. And these earmarked funds can be used by the city only to pay for needed infrastructure improvements in that particular subdivision. One comment concerning the railroad tracks in Temple. Until the time arrives somewhere in the future when there is either a railroad underpass or overpass to handle vehicular traffic while a train is passing through our community or is setting idle on the tracks here, there are going to be traffic congestion problems. We did establish some new and improved communication with Norfolk Southern officials in 2018, and my hope is that in the future, some problems won't recur because of better planning and operations by the railroad, or at least the problems will be resolved much quicker. The bottom line is that Temple, like many other communities, is a railroad town, and we must try to accommodate each other. Police Department. Let me make 6 statements which I believe to be an accurate reflection of our police department in 2018. First, I think this past year's overall performance by our police department was a reflection of the law enforcement agency, which is continuing to improve. Second, we had virtually no personnel turnover in the ranks of our police officers. We were not operating short-staffed, as had been a problem frequently in the past. A stable workforce usually is a sign of a good work environment and a very good attitude in the workplace. I appreciate the work our men and women have done in patrolling our streets, catching lawbreakers, and protecting our citizens. Third, and a reflection of this atmosphere and the various ways our police department works to keep Temple safe, The city of Temple in 2018, again, was among the safest communities in Georgia. There are more than 550 cities in Georgia, and statistics reported by Nation Home Security using FBI crime report statistics resulted in this organization ranking Temple as the 46th safest place in the state. Fourth, once again, we had a very successful Shop with a Cop event during the Christmas holidays, with some 74 children being able to receive Christmas gifts with a total value of more than $7,400. In 2018, the police department participated in several community events to raise funds for this program, including the City of Temple's Founders Day. It was great to see the expressions on the faces of youngsters as they shot with some of our officers. And what a wonderful example of community policing. Fifth, even though our police department is small in numbers, it is 24/7 in operations. In order to make this work effectively, we must have a very low absenteeism rate. We do. And the annual evaluations of most officers in 2018 show these officers exceeded or far exceeded expectations in terms of attendance. Sixth, and as you may know, approximately half of the City of Temple government's entire full-time workforce is in the police department. We have 14 certified officer positions, including a chief, 1 lieutenant, and 2 sergeants. The department provides staffing for municipal court, including maintaining court records, etc. With the growth of this community, the amount of vehicle traffic, especially on Interstate 20, and the reality of criminal activity due to drugs, gang-type groups, and related factors, law enforcement has an increasing workload, and the increase in the caseload in municipal court in 2018 clearly reflected this. Recreation. Having available a variety of recreational activities for our children and young people is essential, in my opinion. We want the programs offered by the City Recreation Department to be a positive experience. We are continuing to work to improve our facilities and programs in the city park, and some initiatives started in 2018 and continuing through this spring should benefit our sports leagues and the individuals who visit the park to enjoy the athletic activities, the playground, and the walking trail, as well as participating in community events or in occasions such as family reunions. During my first year in office, I and members of the City Council made it clear we want to hear from our citizens concerning problems and missed opportunities they have seen in our recreation operations, because we want to build on and improve what the city had in place in 2018. Decisions were made in 2018 concerning field improvements, restroom facilities, parking, and accessibility to the recreation center and other parts of the city park. And I expect my next annual State of the City report to include how these initiatives have been implemented. Even as we plan for and look forward to the future, we need to make sure we remember past accomplishments. And we did this in 2018 as a group gathered on Saturday morning, August 4, to officially unveil and dedicate a new sign to celebrate the outstanding series of achievements in Temple sports history by a group of 16 and under girls who were the Temple Hot Shots softball team. This team captured our hearts and attention 2 decades earlier in becoming the 1998 United States Slow Pitch Softball Association World Champions. Over a period of 3 years, these young women won many regional and statewide trophies. As we pointed out on that special occasion last summer with a few of the Hot Shots in attendance, this new sign continues to memorialize their names and accomplishments. They made Temple proud. But even as we look ahead with the high expectations, and as we look back in history at the Temple Hot Shots, I want to say thank you to the coaches, the parents, and other key supporters, our staff, and the players for their respective contributions in 2018. Local recreation programs and activities are a vital part of any community. I now appreciate them as an elected official, as in the past I appreciated them as a parent and as a coach. Senior Center. In the middle of ball fields, a gymnasium, outdoor courts, and other facilities such as a children's playground, a walking trail, and a large picnic shelter, we have a special facility for a special group of people. our senior citizens. Sandra Stillwell does a great job as director of the Temple Senior Center, and in fact, we recognized the director's accomplishments last fall when she served as the Grand Marshal in our Founders Day Parade. Ms. Sandra and the other members of the Senior Center staff provide a valuable service in our community. At the start of 2018, we expanded our nutrition program at the Senior Center, adding Friday to our previous Monday through Thursday schedule for serving lunch. For $1, our seniors can enjoy a nourishing meal, and equally nourishing is the fellowship that our seniors have at lunchtime and during the Senior Center's operating hours. Also, from time to time, our Senior Center sponsors trips, and I know the participants have a great time at their destinations as well as during their bus rides. In 2018, the city funded and started work on a small addition to the kitchen in order to provide adequate freezer space, more refrigeration space, and shelf storage space. We need this because our Senior Center is serving more citizens. I look forward to seeing this project completed soon. Community development. As we know, Temple and the surrounding areas are beginning to see more and more growth after several years of little change. Recognizing in 2018 that the pace of growth was increasing, your city government took several initiatives to help plan for the future. And we had wonderful citizen participation, both with individuals agreeing to serve on boards and committees, and with other individuals coming to public hearings to speak for or against various proposals. In 2018, the city's 20-year comprehensive plan was updated by a steering committee whose membership primarily consisted of private citizens. The committee did a great job, and this plan will help guide Temple's future development. Also in 2018, the City Planning Commission, which is composed of 6 private citizens, and the City Council and I worked with our staff and a consultant in writing Temple's first development plan. The final draft was completed early in January of 2019, and it will be reviewed on February 12 by the Planning Commission and our elected officials. Then we will have a couple of public hearings before the City Council adopts this comprehensive development code in March or April. It is needed. Also in 2018, the city adopted a current zoning map. Although various rezoning decisions had been made in recent years, the official map had not been updated. Your elected officials want to make sure that in the future this map is updated periodically. We intend to make sure there is an up-to-date zoning map. City administration. In City Hall, we have the mayor's office and space where the City Council meets. Also in this building at the corner of Carrollton Street and US Highway 78 are the offices of our city administrator, city clerk, code enforcement officer, utility billing clerk, accounts payable clerk, and finance director. Let me note that for most of 2018, the city contracted for a part-time fiscal services consultant. However, near the end of the year, the City Council established a job description for our first full-time finance director, and that post now has been filled. Thus far in my State of the City report, I have not quoted a lot of dollar amounts. At this point, I think it is appropriate to provide you with dollar amounts, not only to identify our revenues and expenditures in 2018, but also to show you that the City of Temple's financial status is good and is continuing to get better. I'll report on 3 major funds: the general fund, the water fund, which also includes sewer operations, and the capital improvements fund. As I start, let me note that our fiscal year is the same as the calendar year. Revenue sources for the general fund include taxes, licenses and permits, fines and forfeitures, recreation registrations and related activities, interest earned, senior center revenues, and relatively small miscellaneous sources. The 2018 general fund budget adopted in December 2017 by the City Council totaled $2,910,088.51. The final amended general fund budget for the fiscal year 2018 expected to be adopted tonight is $225,263.49 higher, being a total of $3,135,352. Under state law, a local government must have a balanced budget. Our 2018 general fund expenditures basically were in the areas that I have covered in this presentation: the police, public works, senior center, recreation, library, municipal court, community development, city administration, and the governing body, being the mayor and the city council. We did not spend all the budgeted funds. Therefore, of the $3,135,352 in this final amended annual budget, a total of $2,923,046.10 was expended, and $212,305.90 was our net revenue over expenditures. Thus, those funds are being included in the 2019 budget as approved by the City Council. Now let me share some figures concerning our water and sewer operations. The 2018 water fund budget adopted in December 2017 totaled $2,549,440. For all of us, I think we can better appreciate the importance of water and sewer services in the city of Temple when you realize the original water fund budget for 2018 totaled more than $2.5 million, and this was only $360,648.51 smaller than the general fund budget. The water fund includes revenues from the delivery of water services, sewer services, and sanitation or garbage services, with very small income amounts from interest earned and from miscellaneous sources. This December 2017 adopted budget also included an intergovernmental transfer from the 2015 SPLOST fund. Likewise, this budget showed expenditures in these same areas: water, sewer, and sanitation, as well as payment of debt service and intergovernmental transfers. As with the general fund, we did not spend all of the water fund budget. The final amended water fund budget showed a slight decrease in revenues, down to $2,548,640, and we showed a much larger decrease in expenditures. So the final amended balanced budget enabled the City of Temple to realize a net revenue over expenditures amount of $455,583. Certainly, this is very encouraging news when you realize that we still have a large bond debt with our water and sewer system. The only bad news with this fund concerns sanitation or garbage services, where the final amended budget shows revenues of $217,202 and expenditures of $228,657. In 2019, we must address and deal with this deficit funding situation of more than $11,000 from the year just ended, and if we don't correct this problem, we'll have the same type of deficit repeating itself. Turning now to our 2018 capital improvements fund budget. We projected that virtually all of the needed revenues would come from the 2015 SPLOST program. For me personally, I did not expect the city in 2018 to spend a large amount of capital improvements fund budget because the city had a new city administration, including myself as mayor. I felt we needed time to be sure of our fiscal status and the priority of our capital needs, as well as making sure this administration had a good understanding of prior capital fiscal obligations in water and sewer. As a result, we spent only $218,690 from the 2018 capital fund budget. This was $65,000 on playgrounds in the park, $17,505 in water operations, $23,609 at 2 of the sewer lift stations, $11,986 at the sewer treatment plant, $36,000 for street resurfacing, $56,540 for 2 police patrol vehicles, and $8,050 for certain equipment in these 2 vehicles. Looking ahead, I can tell you that 2019 is going to be a year when several major capital improvement projects are carried out in the City of Temple. Although the city had not expended any funds by the end of the 2018 fiscal year on these projects, we are primed to move forward with them in this new year. Now, before I move to the final part of my first State of the City report, I want to say a few words about the men and women who make up the workforce for this local government. From an overall perspective, I know from my first year experience as mayor of this wonderful city that we have a dedicated workforce and that our employees take pride in carrying out their duties. I won't start calling names because I don't want to overlook anyone, but as a group, I can say that I am proud to be associated with them, and I am delighted that these men and women have committed themselves to serving this community. I don't intend this to be a commercial message for an insurance company, but I can say this about our workforce. You are in good hands with the City of Temple employees. Now, City Council and Mayor. I took my oath of office as Mayor of the City of Temple on January 8, 2018. At that same meeting, Councilmember Howard Walden took the oath of office as he started a new 4-year term, and Ms. Taryn Bivens took the same oath of office to serve again on this governing body after a 4-year absence. At that January 8 meeting, Councilmember Richard Bracknell was reelected by his peers to serve as Mayor Pro Tem, and I might add that during the first City Council meeting in 2019, he was reelected to the same position. The other City Council members at the start of 2018 were Tom Wallace and Todd Rothwell. It was my great pleasure to serve with these 5 individuals in 2018. Overall, I think we had very good teamwork and many accomplishments. Not that we always agreed on everything, but that should not be surprising in any elected body, or even in any family or group of friends or co-workers. But I believe we accomplished a lot in 2018 for this community and its citizens, including having a clear majority of your elected officials working together to heal old hurts, to mend old fences, and to rebuild burned bridges, and to be willing to work with all segments of our community for the betterment of the City of Temple. I thank the voters of Temple for making it possible for us to serve together, and I am sure all of these elected officials, including new City Council member Holly Miller, are committed to working to make 2019 to be a bright and successful year for Temple and its citizens. My final comment and my final thanks concern my wonderful wife, Donna. We are a team and have been a team for years, including our service at Temple High School. So thank you, Donna, for making it possible for me to give of my time to the office of mayor, and thank you for your advice and counsel along the way. May God bless this city council, this city's employees, this city's businesses, and all of this city's citizens. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is approval of minutes, first from the January 7, 2019 regular meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve those if they meet your approval.
I will offer a motion to approve the January 7th minutes.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed, the same sign? Next, the January 17, 2019 special call meeting.
Make a motion to accept them?
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, that brings us to new business. Item number 1, approve the purchase of a John Deere bunker and field rake infield groomer cart from Greenville Turf and Tractor at the extended contract price of $13,754.52 with 2015 SPOS funding from the Recreation Department's 2019 Capital Fund budget. And I believe we have Mr. Shiver here tonight to represent the Recreation Department. He will come forward in case council has questions.
Mr. Mayor, while he's coming forward, if you'll turn over that first tab after your minutes, having a brief memo just to remind you of what we talked about last Monday night. And you do have the 3 quotes that are presented that you can see. The recommendation, as the mayor had said, was John Deere, and Matt would be glad to respond to questions that you may have.
Council have questions? Council would like to take action.
I make a motion we approve the purchase of the John Deere bunker and field rake and field groomer cart and so on with 2015 SPOS funding from the Recreation Department's 2019 capital fund budget.
Seconded.
All right, we have a move and second. Any other discussion? All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Schneider.
No problem, guys. Thank you. Good night. Okay.
Item number 2, updated staff report concerning the priority need to remove the damaged storm drain pipe crossing beneath Lakeview Drive, to replace it with a larger size pipe, and to repair that section of roadway. Mr. Scallop, will come on up in case there are questions.
While he's coming, if you will go to the next tab, you'll see a memo, the way it said, Mr. Scala will respond to questions. Just a couple of things that I wanted to call to your attention is that when we realized that this was something that needed to be dealt with really as soon as possible, we had made contact, as you know from your meeting last Monday night, with a couple of companies. We made sure we made contact with the 3 companies that had given us quotes on dealing with the emergency road culvert work down on Villa Rosa Road back in April of 2017. And as I report to you, while we tried to get in touch with those people to get quotes, we were not able to, and part of it was because they're just very busy with other jobs because things have picked up, of course, on construction. So we still just had the 2 bids, which call to your attention, and I'll turn it over to George to tell you exactly what we're looking at and what we need to do. And you do have some pictures that if you hadn't already looked at them, I urge you to look at them while George is talking, because I think that indicates why we need to move forward. Mr. Scott.
Well, I guess as you can tell by the pictures, that's been undermined halfway across one half of the lane. So one half lane going north, it's already halfway across there. We put cones and warning signs up, but you get a good size garbage truck, you get a school bus or something like that, it's inevitably going to break through. So we definitely need to act on that as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
What is there seems to be a big difference between the bids.
Yes.
Any idea why?
The Dean Brothers, when they outdid their bid, I looked at the info that they said, I did the computations, and it fits. I think they might be saving some on manpower, if anything. Other than that, I think the other bigger companies, they're charging more money right now because they can.
Well, this Dean Brothers is one we've used before.
Yes, we have used them before. The Villa Rosa company that replaced Villa Rosa Road that time is not available.
Mr. Walker, a couple of questions.
Is the concrete pipe going under there, is it actually give way or?
Yes, it's actually broke. Right, it's actually, you know how they put them together, they cement them with hydraulic cement, it's actually cracked in there. And it's not really big enough to handle the flow. The 18-inch pipe underneath there is not big enough to handle the flow anymore because as temperature develops, water gets channelized in the creeks, and that is a little creek and it's bypassed. If you go up behind it, you have Amy Ridge, so storm drains are running down through there, so we need a little bit more to handle it. And it also goes down deeper below the level and will prevent from rewashing out bigger pipe.
A question about the head walls, are they actually going to build concrete head walls, or they're going to buy them already made to fit the 24-inch pipe?
I do not have the answer to that one, but I can find that out for you.
Okay, here it says the 24-inch head walls will be built, so we need no problem with what size, how high.
But they're probably definitely going to have to build them up to the, otherwise you just get washed out again. But I can talk with them.
You know, what they're doing is they're buying the concrete head walls already made, it'll just slide on.
Right.
Perfect.
Sometimes they don't fit though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to put footers in.
Right.
I make a motion that we accept the Dean Brothers bid and start work on this immediately.
All right, that would move us to item number 3.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can as part of your motion include the amount of money that can be included?
Do I need to do, I need, in the funding source, am I supposed to do both of those now?
That'd be a 15 splash.
It is 15 spots?
Yes.
Okay. We need to have this for any type of override, or is it take the exact amount?
This is what they have bid.
All right. So I say this, the splash fund, 2015 splash fund, $15,758.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Can I say one thing? This is saying from the Public Works Department's 2019 capital fund budget. I don't foresee this was in the capital fund budget. I don't think we thought it was going to tear up. So the 2015 splosh, yes, capital fund budget, I would put that on hold because I don't see this was going to be, the capital fund budget was what they asked for, right? I don't foresee that we saw this was coming.
See.
Right, so go ahead, Ms. Robinson.
We had, in looking at trying to make it possible for y'all to move forward on this, in the, if you will go over near the back of the book where you've got this one-page capital workshop, or capital budget worksheet, and if you will look down under Public Works, you will see, I'm trying to remember, the budget that we were looking at.
It was in
I
the
beg
line
your
item
pardon,
budget.
I'm looking at the amendments we're talking about too. But I think that we had identified, and I apologize, I don't have it. And
But what I'm saying, Ms. Johnson, is this was kind of an emergency thing that came up. I say we approve it, we go with the 2015 splash funding, but we take it out of that capital fund budget till we can see where they're going. Because I don't want that to be part of their improvements when it was not something we saw forthcoming, is what I was saying. If that makes sense.
And Mr. Day will make sure that we keep that properly covered there.
Okay.
So
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
One question, approximately how long will it take them to prepare this, if it's approved?
They said that they should have it done within 2 weeks. And of course, that's dependent on the weather.
Right.
You know, because you can't lay the concrete down there, and you can't put the gravel down there and do it the right way. The weather's not quite.
Yes, sir.
will that road be closed?
Yeah.
But they can go.
Go up and go around?
But it'd be just like going around Old Greenman when we had Old Greenman closed.
But that one's easier to go with the bus. 'Cause it just- All right.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a movement and a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Here's one comment. I think when this is happening, we need to have cooperation with the police department to be aware that they are taking those barriers, they're taking them down, they're throwing them in the creeks, they're doing everything under the sun. The barricades that were down here that was noting that that was a dangerous intersection were gone because somebody decided that just to take all the ribbon and everything and throw it in the creek. And there has to be somebody patrolling to realize that we got a road that's caving in and to notify somebody to get those barricades back up. It happened on Old Greenman, it's happened on Lakeview, so, you know, Chief, if you can ask your patrol to be particularly aware of that they're, you know, I don't know why somebody would do something that dangerous, but they're doing it and think it's some kind of game to throw the barricades. Please? I'm sorry, but I want to make sure that that was made aware of, and that anybody that sees that happening should be calling the police department, reporting it.
Thank you, sir. Item number 4. Updated staff reports on the proposed final amendments to the City of Temple's General Fund budget, Water and Sewer Fund budget, and Capital Improvements Fund budget for the 2018 fiscal year in response to the respective discussions during the January 28th meeting of the City Council Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Bill Osborne, Mr. Ken Abadek.
I'm going to start, if you will go to your next tab, and you'll see I have a memo. And of course, what we're getting ready to do is, first, our finance director and I want to be sure that the questions that came up last Monday night when we talked about the budget amendments, we tried both to provide explanations and also for whatever corrections needed to be made. And then, of course, after we get through with this presentation, the Budget and Finance Chair, Ms. Bivens, and the mayor, as they handle any remaining discussion, and the Finance Director and myself will be glad to try to respond. As I put in all caps in my memo, we didn't include a copy of the budget printouts that we had for you last Monday night. What we've got is the new information. We did spend a good bit of time going over, looking at things, searching records to try to be sure that we were able to respond to your comments. And if you'll see on my memo, kind of near the top of the second page, and I'm not going to go through these other than as you wish to refer to them, but I've taken first the general fund, page by page, where we tried to deal with those points that you asked about. And then it goes, of course, after a couple of pages on that, it goes over to the water fund. So we tried to do the same from that standpoint. And then following my memo, you will get over the next 3 tabs, as you know. First, we have the ordinance that will be handled by Ms. Bivens after the discussion period here with Finance Director and myself. And then behind each of the ordinances, you do have the updated information that Ken put together. The most recent update, as you know, we changed a couple of pages shortly before you met because of the situation that came to our attention today that resulted in some change in the recreation budget. But I would point out before I turn it over to Ken that in accordance with decisions that you made about a year ago, as you know, we do not have to do the ordinance reading in 2 separate meetings. You do not have to have the ordinance read tonight. We did have each of these ordinances on the website posted more than 72 hours before the meeting tonight, so we met your criteria that you set forth last year. So if you would go to your first, the next item, maybe you may want to keep your finger to where we just were in terms of the specific points I mentioned under general fund, but past the ordinance, which basically is the same verbiage that our city attorney had given us this time last year when we were doing the same thing with the previous year's budget. So that you will find the general fund summary. If you just keep those 2 together, and Ken will kind of talk to you and respond to questions. And then after all of those questions have been answered and comments received, then Mr. Mayor, we're ready for you and Ms. Bivens to proceed with the 3 separate public hearings and the handling of action on the ordinance. Mr. Finance Director.
Thank you very much. Like Mr. Osborne explained, our net revenue over expenditure has changed, and that was because of issues we became aware of just today. So the numbers have changed, but we still have about $212,000 remaining in the general fund summary. That's on the general fund summary, if there's any question on it.
I think, yes. Let me just cover 2 or 3 things real quick here that I've got. Just wanted to remind you that when we looked at this last Monday night, you felt like that we should have a breakout in the general fund summary on other revenues, because that was more than $37,000. And if you will look on the in your general fund revenue on the 3rd page, where we've got the detail of general fund revenue, you will see that finance director's got the background on all those lines in yellow, except for 7 lines that have kind of a light green background, and those were the items that added up to what we were showing under other revenues in the general fund summary. We also, like I said, I'm not going to go through each of these. If you have questions, we'd be glad to try to respond, but we did try to answer all your questions and provide other information. In the governing body budget, that particular page, if you look at the salaries, and you may wonder why the figures look a little strange, knowing what the elected officials make, that also includes the planning commission, the money that is paid to them. I would just point out that what had happened today is that I had received from our accounts payable clerk asking for approval of about $8,600 in a bill from the Parks or the Recreation Department. And frankly, I thought that we were talking about a purchase that had just been made under the 2019 budget. And when I asked, I found out as we looked into this that this was a bill that had been incurred back in the summer when we purchased of equipment for the fall program, especially in football, and we did not receive here the statement. I can't tell you that if it was processed through the rec department, but Cindy didn't have any record of it, and as we began to look into it, we determined that this indeed was an appropriate bill that had to be paid. We had made contact with the company to explain the situation. They waived any penalties that they had attached. And then as we looked at the recreation budget, and if you go over to that, the new sheet that we gave you, is that we did have in the recreation budget we had some money left in that particular line item of uniforms and things, and we had some other money. We were able to transfer that with 2 other line items in that same part of the budget, so that everything balanced out. But that's the reason that we gave you the other sheet right before we started the meeting tonight. And I think those things were the why the mayor, when he read, if you were following him, you saw that he was saying, his figure in terms of how much money we had that we had not spent was about $8,600 less, and that was because we do need to deal with this legitimate bill that we had gotten that we'll take care of paying within later this week. So we're open for any questions that any of you have on any part of the general fund.
All my questions were answered that I had asked last week. This one, they did a good job on the breakout on the other revenues. So it looks better having 7 lines there rather than 1. I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments, council?
No, we want to give you an explanation. We just give you an explanation of all of them, and then you can start your, that's okay.
He wants to make sure that all of our budgets were all in line, and we don't have any more questions before we do ordinances.
Public hearing.
Public hearing and then ordinances.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, makes sense. It was broken out individually.
The water fund, when you look at it, and you had very few questions last week regarding the water fund. In fact, the only thing that I pointed to is, as you can see, and part of this is what Mr. had gotten, and Ken's gonna get me because I sometimes lapse on his last names, Brendan's, maybe Dave, so I'll get it right again. But we did have to do a refund to Aiken Services. Most of you are probably aware of that. They had gotten half, but then they decided to do a well and septic tank, it looks like they're gonna be coming back to us and look up probably sometime later this year. But there was virtually no other change in anything in the water. And in terms of the last one we had with the capital improvements, this basically was 2015 SPLOST, which you already know. And if there are any questions that you have with any of those items, we'll be glad to try to respond.
That's all my answer.
Okay, so Mr. Mayor, turn it over to you and Ms. Bivens for public hearings and action.
All right, item number 5, we'll conduct a public hearing on the City of Temple's proposed final amendments to the 2018 General Fund Operating Budget. Anyone present tonight who would like to offer comment, please be recognized and give us your name, address, and your comments. All right, we'll move forward then. Item number 6. Approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's final amendments to the 2018 General Fund Operating Budget. Comments and/or action from Ms. Bivens?
I have no comments. I would like to make that recommendation that we approve that ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's final amendments to the 2018 General Fund Operating Budget so that we can be balanced and move forward.
I don't have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion?
Right. It's your turn. I'm good. Okay, good. Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7, conduct a public hearing on the City of Temple's proposed final amendments to the 2018 Water and Sewer Fund Operating Budget. This time, anyone present who'd like to offer comment on the 2018 Water and Sewer Fund Operating Budget and the proposed amendment, make yourself known. All right, seeing none and hearing none, we move on to item number 8. Approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's final amendments to the 2018 Water and Sewer Fund operating budget. Ms. Bivens, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd just like to, again, renew the motion to approve an ordinance to adopt the final amendments to the 2018 Water and Sewer Fund operating budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Item number 9, conduct a public hearing on the City of Temple proposed final amendments to the 2018 Capital Improvements Fund budget. This time, we'll have a public hearing for that purpose. If anyone's present and would like to offer comment, please be recognized. Give us your name and address and your comments. Okay, seeing none and hearing none, we move on. Close the public hearing. Go to number 10, approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's final amendments to the 2018 Capital Improvements Fund budget. Councilmember Bivens.
Again, I would just like to make a motion that we approve that ordinance to adopt our final amendments for the 2018 Capital Improvements Fund budget, please.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. That brings us to item number 11. Consider approving a revised job description for the position of City of Temple Code Enforcement Officer in the Administration Department. Mr. Osborne.
You'll go near the back of the book next to the last tab. Of course, we had some discussion on this last Monday night. I did include in your book a copy of our current printed job description of code enforcement officer. And also I included a copy of the memo that I gave you last week. The job description does not show when and if this actually been adopted by the city council. I assume it was, but that's not crucial to my recommendation to you. I think that you will see that there's a blank space near the top of the job description and pay grade. It doesn't appear in our 2014 chart because that did not include part-time positions that I think at some point the code enforcement officer was. I did receive from Councilman Walden a copy of the job description for what at one point was the Community Development Director. Some of those job duties are similar to what we have in code enforcement. There's no date on that job description either. Of course, now we've made some changes in terms of community development that we have part of that we do in-house and part of it through the agreement with the county. I do feel like that we need to amend the job description of the code enforcement officer. What I gave you last week, I won't repeat other than answer any questions you have. We do need to get rid of the job identification that says issued signed permits because we don't do this. There were several duties that George does do that I feel like need to be a part of the job description. Basically, we've got some changes that we'll need to get to. If you remember back when we did the $2 per hour increase on all certified police officers, that of course we ended up making a change on what we showed on the pay grades for those that I've identified for you here. From the comments I've heard, I think it appears that there's a feeling that the $14.50 per hour Mr. Scollett has been paid the last year's too low based on his experience and duties. We've given you some comps so we can get more. I'm not coming to you tonight asking you to deal with Mr. Scallo's hourly pay. I think before we could do with that, you've got to amend the job description. So we've got a current job description that would be certainly play a key part in what you determine the salary to. But I would ask that you consider the amending of the job description itself, as we talked about last Monday night, and as I mentioned, which would, like I say, delete, and the job description is right, the back here, we get rid of issuing sign permits, because we don't do that, but we have the other duties that we have added that's already done. Yes,
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that, I thought the only thing basically we were to do was just to basically approve the job description creating the position. And that a job description is a fluid document that changes and as the need grows. So that if we adopt this, then those kind of things could be just taken out. They're not doing it. I don't think that every time, may be wrong, but it's not my understanding that we need to approve every change that's ever made to the job description. So that this one would, if there are things that need to come out, things that need to go in, we're just creating a code enforcement officer. And that's what we're required to do, is just to create a position.
I think that's right. And part two, I think if the minutes need to reflect this, if we're talking about, in my opinion, a material change, and that would be Mr. Osborne's decision. Yeah, if it's a material change that he wants to get a blessing on, fine. If there are minor changes, then he would make a note in the personnel file that these are minor changes and do it. So I think it's up to you as to where you accomplish that. But I don't see any need, again, this is maybe a governance issue for y'all to decide. I don't see any need getting in the weeds about everything going on in 5-page job description.
I think if anybody has anything, it wouldn't hurt for them to give their 2 cents worth. I'd like to make a motion that we approve a job description for code enforcement officer. And then, like I say, if it needs to be changed, it needs to be changed. That would be my motion, just create the position.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'm not really clear, we've got the job description here,
Right.
right here, so is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that job description, if there needs to be any changes, if there needs to be any changes, those could be made.
Okay, the motion is to leave the job description like this, as it reads here without the change.
Well, he's saying to let Mr. Osborne, as city administrator, make adjustments
At a later date.
as he deems necessary.
Okay.
Yes.
That was the full intent of having job description. We just create it because we're financially responsible for paying people. It's responsibility of the council to create the position, and then everything else falls in line.
And you will understand these two.
what I'll do is I will delete issuing the sign, and I will add those 4 duties that I've given to you. We'll do that.
Who's issued the same permits? We have to sign an ordinance.
I think we do that,
Through
Cindy in conjunction with whether the county gets involved with us or not. Let's give you the direct answer on that. But code enforcement is not involved.
Okay. All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Bright on this job description, and we have a second from Ms. Bivens. Any additional discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Item number 12, consider increasing the monthly compensation paid to the City of Temple's municipal court judge. Mr. Osborne.
Last time, we of course talked about this last Monday night, and they've given you kind of an updated memo and a couple of key things as we looked at the budget that you adopted last year and this year. I guess the main thing I would go to is the last paragraph on my new memo, that if, when you worked on and adopted the 2019 budget, you anticipated that there would be an increase in compensation for the municipal court judge. It had been 24,000, and you said make it 27,600. We're looking at, my recommendation was that you would do $400 a month increase, because it's been years since it's been in here and talked about the increases. And that would be for the last 10 months of the year if you did that, which would be $4,000 additional. And then you've got what you already paid on the $2,000 a month. That's a total of $28,000. You've already budgeted $27,600. So we're only talking about spending $400 more. And certainly we've got that would be easy to shift that part around in the budget. As we know, with the growth in municipal courts, we talked about revenues, I'm sure, will exceed the budget. But I do feel like we need to be sure that whatever we're looking on the salary situation is compatible with your view of what it should be.
What's your pleasure, council?
So this, Matt,
Yes, sir.
so this is $400 a month. So we're at the
Increase.
increase, which would mean
Would be rather,
4,800.
so it's rather than $2,000 a month, would be $2,400 a month.
All right, I make a motion that we increase.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to increase the municipal judge salary from the $2,400 each month. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, at this time, that brings us to public comments. If anyone is present at our meeting tonight who would like to offer public comments, please first be recognized, give your name and address, and please limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less. All right, seeing none. Next, we have executive session, and we do have a need to go into executive session for the purposes of personnel. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Mayor, there'll be no action to be taken at the end for the press. I just want to be sure no action to be taken as a result of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we need to just go straight, we don't need to come out of this meeting.
You would use motion, go into executive session, do that, go in, and you come out and adjourn unless there's some other item of business you would like.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All right, executive session.
There's one thing we can say.
Never mind, Tom.
He used to be 6'4". Yeah. Shorter than Kind of show you a couple. And they are on top roof. Let's read will. Let's read They were up there around the top of it. He said it was one of the, because it was a different scene of the game. Yeah, he said, but they were cool. 12 hours a day. You know, they're doing security stuff, checks, everything, so they were out. I think they'll see it.
It was like a big wow that day, but it was.
I saw that, it's all when it purchased, December 18th. You buy a trailer, you pay money, and so by the time she got there, it comes in, it was already in January, and that's when I $2,100 this year. And I went down there, go back, and I Tracy, we gave me that trailer. Yeah, so we're gonna have to. When it comes to other stuff, it's and really she had a lot of stuff to do. I know a lot of times they don't send those in, but when they call and say, hey, wait, you know, I've seen that too, but I'm like this, boy, I'm ready to line things, you know, you're here, here,
This is actually better than the last few days. Cold, it's been cold, it's been passing on everybody. It's starting with my son, since he likes to steal people's drinks.
On the budget, the one I sent you there, you said something, right?
Cough would last forever. And that's what I had. I'm crazy.
Mama come down this weekend, she was feeling really bad yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a week ago, it was, like 18 to 20. And more.
Yeah.
All this is on the
2 days later.
Yes.
You see when that one was that should be a whistleblower. If you do like a little time or something, and you see that every month, well, you know, all of a sudden you get one month stretch out here, call me and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Don't wait until the end of the year, so that's when I know where I'm at.
Yeah. I'll go to the room. I'll call them and let you know.
You see, it's the way to get the best. That money ain't last year's budget. So, I had the money in last year's budget.
And they told you to wait till this year.
Cynthia told me,
What should have told you to wait?
she said, wait till this year. Remember last year, I was saying, I don't need that person.
Oh, yeah, that's what you got. I remember that.
You supposed to use your store.
Because it's not me. You take the money from the other items. See, that's what we need to know about. Okay, first of all, we're over in one area,
said, this is where we're going to pull money from. Don't do that because it would end up creep without power while one head made that purchase. Not thinking that money's in there because I'm going to sell it. I mean, you got $15,000 in the bank. And I said, George, this is for you to buy some equipment with. You go check and see if you don't use it.
No, yeah, that's what we were just talking
Yes,
about.
I said, I don't know about the damn thing.
I just don't, he sent me a paper today and said, you use $3,000 out of your equipment budget. And I'm like, well,
What equipment?
I think what I
I
said.
said, I'm in the department, I can't tell you what you spent $3,000 for.
You know, and it turned out it was something they bought last year that they never got a bill for. They just got the bill and now we took it out of our money.
So what did they buy last year they didn't get a bill for?
A trailer.
Trailers.
A trailer.
A trailer.
Yeah, when they got, just to haul around the equipment, you know, the lawnmower, we went out of the lawnmower.
That should have come out of the Wayne's thing, but.
I'm handling what.
Oh, that's, and he didn't come back to this year.
But how many days overdue it was before they finally paid it?
That's what I'm using when I purchase something stupid. We're like, hey, did I pay for this? Did I pay for that? And then it's like holding the check. And see, I cut uniform sales loose. I used to do uniform sales in America off Thornton Road. And what they did, they'll hold a bill all the way until the end of the year. Then they come bill me $2,800. I said, y'all won't get it this time, but it ain't gonna happen again. You don't do that. I told the rest of them, we make a purchase, when we pay, you give it to us. We don't pay, you don't give it to us. I don't want to
It's just like the sensor system we have, make sure everything's not overflowing. They can't bill us, and all of a sudden he gets a bill at the end of the year. It's like, nobody knows who it is.
You spend that money.
And they go, well, I'd rather spend it at one time than give it to you over the month. I go, no, I need to buy it one, that way I can keep my money.
I need it, don't give me nothing until I pay for it.
Yeah.
And see,
And then these guys, they'll run off to Home Depot, I guess Wayne will go to Home Depot and stuff and buy stuff when they needed it.
and they had the receipt and know whatever you
And then
want.
they'll turn in a receipt, it's like, what's this?
They got it down.
I just put a stop to that.
It was like,
Wayne, Justin and David. Dustin.
who's critical? What kind of
The
receipt?
Home Depot credit card.
Everybody got one in the department. Every department has one.
Ours on Main Street.
Yeah, he should be the one using that card. You shouldn't, you don't give it to them unless he
I
has.
didn't have it.
They got it.
I finally got it back from him. I got it back.
What was they purchasing on? Oh, I mean, could you verify everything?
Yeah, I did. I verified everything. Everything was there because, things come up.
What about past before you got it?
No, I didn't have anything to do with that. Right?
See, that's where they go wrong with it. You don't get that card out there, everybody doesn't go do stuff with it.
No, it was like, David said, hey, George, I'm gonna go here and buy $1,000 worth of chemicals for the lift stations, right? And I was like, wait a minute, I had approved this before you can do anything. Well, this is what you do it. I go, this is what you ain't doing it no more.
That's bad.
Well, it just takes people getting in routines and you gotta break it. You know, and I guess that was their routine.
Yes.
So now we're trying to say, okay, break it because, you know, what money we save here and there, we can probably get you some training or something like
Yeah,
that.
you definitely need to break that one because the way I get them to understand, I said, I take my bank card, I said, you give 5 people a bank card, how could you keep up with who's spending what? And then who gonna forget to say that they spent something, or get over more than what
And
they
it'll be
should
like,
get.
I didn't do it.
There you go. So the best thing to do is not to do that. Yeah, you definitely need to break them out of that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you now, that, yes, you know, that's what they did. I don't even know how they got it over, why they even took money out of it, because it never was over. Only thing I can say probably could have went up, or maybe a little bit over, was the card. That is the only one.
Were you at that meeting, committee meeting this last time? That's what Kara said. With your overtime. She said your overtime was way over.
Yeah, the overtime was up, so I could go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only repeating what she said.
She was talking about that gas, the rest of them went way over. They took the overtime over like 6,000.
Yeah, you're right. petrol, but then if you got gas pump on.
Yeah, it ain't even that. I mean, we can do this, even when the gas is high, we never use that.
Well, yeah.
Never, I keep up.
Not that kind of gas.
Never been over, not even come up, close to being over. And third quarter.
What are you doing, filling up trucks and driving them all?
And nothing really changed from the year before. I said, nothing's really changed from the year before.
Nothing, so.
I think some of the numbers are really
Yeah, you showed me the numbers, but, what they pull the money out of that account. That's what I'm gonna tell you, when we get to days, I'm gonna go from January to, what it was, February, March, April, and you can see the gap somewhere before we get $33,000.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
The whole city ain't spent $33,000, I guess.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
Over my 40.
There's no way we spent $70,000.
Here in our
In 1 year.
pit sheet, Public Works, Brett, that one guy spent 1,500, one guy spent 1,500, one guy hit 2,000, and one guy hit $8,000 worth of gas.
No. Who is this? Yeah. You hear that?
I went over there.
That'd be 175,000 gallons of gas.
Oh, without heat, yeah. I mean, I went like, I busted the budget, they busted the budget by like $2,000 for gas. You know why, come on, I don't even have to answer that.
That'd be 479 gallons a day. There ain't no way to use 479 gallons. I don't need to be generous. I don't need to be generous. I think it's 250 a gallon.
The first half of the year, we were hitting 3, weren't we? But even then, that's only gonna add another $1.
So, I mean, there's no way.
You will get in the budget monthly, so.
I put it
Take the votes again. You can pull all the next cars.
Well, she even
Pull
called
it,
it, she,
come on,
we
figure it
still
out.
get, I got the permits that I was getting, it still should have been called. And you got a significant increase like that, they still should be called.
Yeah, she should
So,
have
close
closed
it and get going, because I'm going January, February, March, and all of a sudden you see, hey, what's going on right here, before we got to the end of the year, came on my door. Yeah. It's, it was so well, and it took it took you there much.
That's what I have to do, I have to start pulling those guys' Wex cards every month. I pull that card out, I look and see exactly, and it tells where they're spending it, where you know that, when they're doing it. So now I'm keeping an eye, real tight eyeball on it right here.
So you really try to keep an eye on it.
Not the Christmas payments. A lot of brass, a lot of, not water heaters, but like the brass at the cost. I had to order 40 back full miles, it cost $150 a piece.
And you tell somebody else like that, it's easy. But I tell you,
I know, David don't like it at all.
Really?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm not, well, I'm trying, so we're not trying to do nothing. It seems that way, but, you know, I wasn't here, so I don't know. So I, just put, he gave them liberties that I wouldn't give them. How's that? Like, I would never give them a card, would never let them buy anything first of all, George, I'm buying this.
there you go.
Because
No, you know everything, you know everything I do if I ever get a car.
it's like this, it's the other day, hey, George, I bought 10 meters. How did you buy 10 meters without me knowing about it? And they were $200 a piece.
Did you ever see the news?
Yeah, I saw, yeah, I said, where are they at? Bring them up, show me. And he did, he got 10 meters. But the point was, I should have known before it happened.
Yeah.
And then you should show me when it comes in. That way,
You should get your approval before they can so.
and I'm trying, it's a change of culture, man.
You don't know how good you got it. You don't know how good you got it.
And then not only that, when they get mad, like, one of them got mad the other day, they had, you know, the little portable pumps that you pump the water out of. Bam! Crashed on the back of the tailgate motor. How did you do? What I do, I said, you buying that?
Yes.
$75. He went down on his own car, tried to, it's what, it is what it is. Yeah, I gave him a performance improvement plan, I wrote him up on performance review. Yep. Yeah, he's really off the chain a lot. It's like, you see another town, look who's using that truck. He drives it overseas further all the time. He drives that truck everywhere. So he drives the truck there, and he also goes like to Carrollton and cattle sales every Monday. He drives that truck. He drives that truck everywhere he goes. Like I said, I told Bill everything I come across, I told him. I don't know, we haven't pushed it that far yet. It's funny, you know, boy, I tell you, when I first, Bill said, hey, George, you're gonna run public work every day. You guys are complaining about me every single day. George taught me. Yeah, it was crazy. George, did you talk to him?
working for me, could be.
I said, David, I had to say something to him. And I came in there, he all the time. I said, Bill, I don't appreciate George talking to me, you know, badly. And David had to see, tell him what I said. So David told him, I said, no, that's how it was. I said, this is how it was. And I repeated the exact same thing, how it happened. And I said, was that how it happened? He goes, yeah. And Bill said, David, stop crying. So they don't. Dustin, Clint, and David. Yeah, he reads meters. He came up to see me last week, said he was going to quit on it. He said, came up here on Wednesday, said he was going to turn all his stuff in and quit on Friday.
Did you watch this?
Oh, yeah. See, the problem is, I was going through vehicles, you know, inventory and stuff like that. I look at the vehicles and there's like 18 sets of spare keys. Keys to water meters, keys to the locks down there, keys to everywhere. You know, all the stuff we got like spare keys for it all. No spare keys to the key, to get in the key. So somebody can copy the keys.
You see why women are getting this dude? I said, no, that's private right there. We have seen vehicles and we can't have nobody with access to that.
That's why. And if you did, probably would have come up missing, you know. Wow. Yeah, you know, so I had to go down there and tight. I mean, I had to crank down hard. You know, it was just too much. I didn't. It was just like, what I did, I also did around, did all the water meter ones, at least one time. It takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to read around. Sticking them all day. And he said they needed 2 of them, because they needed 2 of them, it would take them all day long to read a 2-hour route. You know, I thought about that too, but that cost money. So what I do is I wait, I call them up, and I say, where are you at? And I try to go over to see if they're there. Yeah, but then that's what they try to do with me. They go, hey, Jim, where are you at? I go, I don't know, where are you at?
Hey, what's up, man? So where you at?
I mean, I was getting so ticked off, I was just gonna trouble, I don't wanna do that anymore, get somebody else to take care of that, which I'm not doing it. So, because they're gonna come in and bill, those will override me, I'm not gonna have it. Not yet. He listens to them. I want him to say, they come in here and say, George, listen, get out of my office. That's my idea.
Take it up the bank or something.
Yeah, or if I'm doing something that's out of line, you want to take it, I'm perfectly great with that. But you don't go up here and cry about every decision.
Did you that, you come back, man, hands free on it?
Yeah.
You know, take it away,
That's what, that's exactly, if you're gonna, I'm not gonna take it off or anything, if you're not giving me the authority to take it.
I had no idea what was going on.
Me neither.
Kind of thought so.
I've known this since I got here, because I follow a lot of stuff. I think Dwayne was ready to move on. You know, he was waiting for the good job to come on, I think he was ready to get out here, because it's hard to control those guys. And think about it, if they're doing it to you, you know they came in here and did the same exact thing they wanted. And they did, I used to sit right here and watch those guys.
They're always over here.
And if they're not complaining about Dwayne, they're going and talking to her. And then she, she gets fired up, right? And if she gets fired up, she'll go to the office, and they know she does. And if she don't get what she wants from you, she wants to talk to Howard. Howard knows everything. So this is why I try to, don't go back there and talk, because it's just going to lead into a giant big sandwich. She worries about a whole lot of stuff. Doesn't. Kids experience that one firsthand. I'm telling you, you guys are lucky you're dealing with like police officers and people who have like, you know, one of those. I'm much like, oh my God, you guys are.
Okay, I gotta go back. I really wish I could agree with you on that one. There's been increases, but I feel in the last week. Chief's getting worried, everyone opening my emails anymore. Shooting somebody up.
He's allowed to drive home. I live right around here, so I see, you know, when you see a guy down the road, you can't miss him. You know, so I talk to him.
Yeah, especially with the tag right in front of the windshield.
So I talked to him about it. So what I'm gonna do, what I'm doing now, I got one getting fixed down there at the county. When it comes back, I'm gonna give him a 6-cylinder truck. So it's gonna, A, cut miles there, and you know, right on the park. I don't care. I can't have $8,000 gas. Yeah, I can't say that. You know, and when they need it, they can come down and pick it up.
But you live the first.
So, when weekends, what was driving? Gas was
No, of course not. Of course not. You're gonna use that, you're gonna use that Wex card and put it in there, come on.
I mean, put it past up. Does it say, keep the gun?
Not yet, I will.
Hey, get that last bill at $5.
not seen it, you know what I'm saying? That's only,
That's what it, I can't even look at it. And what he does, he just grab a tractor, his brother probably know, they probably cost me $200 to do this, so I just give you $75, $100, half the price, and you do it every time, you make it like, oh, and his brother say at the same time. It's easy to get the thing, you want us to sell it out, man. You can do it,
first thing is, get the numbers right. And that's what I keep telling those guys. I said, man, when I start looking at your numbers, they're not adding up. And I keep telling them, you're gonna get your own self roasted because you're not. You don't really realize how easy it is. You're not that smart.
does it work? It always is. What if it has a flood and you just backtrack it?
He was getting ready for this. Here's another number. You know, it was costing me about 17 cents a mile. You know, in my big old ground there. It was costing the water meter guy, and runs and starts and everything, about 25 cents a mile. It was costing David like, you know, not the same, 20 cents a mile. It was costing him literally at $3 a mile.
There's,
You can get in there, if you go by, that truck's all over, he never shuts up. Tell him, what could he say? You know, he would have said something like, actually, you know, he's a hard worker. I really been rich, hard, his trouble, he works too fast. He don't see no, he just wants to hurry up and get done, so we don't have to do nothing. And he works so fast, the chances are, whatever he's doing is probably wrong. He's called half-assed.
What does he need?
That big truck right there, we use it to tow trailers, going a big, you use Dwayne's oil. Yeah, so it's that's my little box. That way you can drive it in and get the other truck. I went there, you know, since I took over, this is what I found out. You know what? And then I found out like yesterday. I got told, yeah, so what do you do on Friday? I check out this lift station, this lift station, this lift station. But this lift station told me that I had been out of work for 7 days. And I got it on the computer. The computer said the high level went up. I said, there's 7 days, but that's not possible. I looked Friday. And they're like, you can't do computers line. You can't do it's line. I changed it over right now. I'm looking at it. I said, it's high here, it's high right now. Come on now. Well, I thought I looked at it on Friday. I thought I went over it.
oh, gee, we're going to that.
I thought I did that. That's the common. Why did you get that? That's a common one.
So is he,
Well, no, some else has that
Especially on weekdays. On the weekdays and after you cut off, on the 10th and the 11th, we're in the line.
Report us, pick off.
As we grew.
I did,
Wait.
Committee lead.
Yeah. No, Karen just has way too many.
Oh, yes.
time, I'd entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
Make that motion?
All in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We are out of executive session. That brings us to closing comments. We'll start with Councilmember Bivens.
It's just nice to have another female.
Mr. Wallen.
I would like to welcome Ms. Miller back to council after a 7-month retirement. And I'm excited about working with the mayor and a full council that are all on the same page, have the same goals and the same visions and city.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Wallace.
I just want to know, I enjoyed your State of the City
Thank you.
speech today, and welcome, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Miller.
Glad to be back.
Councilmember Brackett.
I got a couple of things. First, welcome aboard, back on board, Haley, and really got to echo what Howard said. It's awesome to have colleagues that you can work with. But I do have, is it okay to ask the chief a question in the closing?
I suppose.
Hey, chief,
Yes, sir.
if there are semi-trucks parked on the side of a city street, can you give them a ticket?
Just in a no parking.
So, I mean, if it's just on the side, if it's on the side of the road where it's blocking, where a fire truck can't go down the street, or it might inhibit it?
Yeah, I mean, he got that white line, if his vehicle's on the roadway, we can issue one like that.
There's several that's.
And where is,
Huh?
where at?
I'll tell you exactly when I get finished here.
Mr. Brackett, those are the ones that Jordan contacted me about. I've got he gave me the ordinance code that falls under.
Right.
So that we can actually take care of it with the city.
Okay, because that's been a complaint, it's coming out of Villa Rosa, but that's been a complaint down there quite a few times, not just for what George.
I didn't realize that, A, that was going on, and B, that there was an ordinance, that fell under the ordinance, because as far as parking on the street, there's nothing in the law that says that, in the Georgia law that says they couldn't park there. But if there's a city ordinance against it, we can enforce it through the city ordinance.
Awesome, awesome. I just know that there's complaints that come out of there all the time, that those rigs are in there, and they're blocking views, they're, lots of different things.
Is it on a regular street?
Yeah, I was trying to look at the name of the street where the biggest complaint comes
Yeah,
out.
right, man, they actually, some of them delivering stuff to Eagles in different places, they do it to park there, because they claim they Eagles.
Tell the park to catch Uber home.
Yeah, we can, like you say, get an ordinance and get some signs and put up and enforce it that way, but without any signs up, you can't enforce it. It's gotta be one up, like a no parking on the ramp, and there has to be a no parking sign up there for us to enforce it, because if they don't have no parking, if they nothing we can do about it.
Can you look at George and figure out what we need?
Yeah, well, I can look into that and find out, and I have to get with, I guess George, you'd be the one purchasing it.
Please.
Let me ask you this, can't they write a ticket, like if you're parked in a turning lane in front of Hardee's?
Oh, absolutely.
Cause they wear them out up there.
We do right on
Yeah,
that.
We do it all the time there and on Billings Road in front of
Yeah,
I
I knew I see them up there a lot.
Yeah, we ride them on Billings Road too as well,
Yeah,
and on
yeah.
the parking lot. Usually try to give them a chance to move the truck, but you get that old thing.
All right, appreciate it. If y'all work together on that, that would be really nice. Okay. And the other thing is, second thing is, I'm getting a lot of calls, way more calls than I'm gonna take, about the rec card and about the handling of cash money. That it's not, I mean, I thought that we had a policy about it, but I did go back and I did look, so there are things. We need to use those double tickets. I mean, even if, when you got the kid that's just taking money and people are going into the gym, that just opens it up to all kinds of things happening. And people see that and they ask why we don't give out the tickets. So we'll make sure that all of you guys know that I got 3 or 4 calls about that. And Mr. Abide, I think he's working on trying to get that squared away.
Is that the same thing with the concession area?
Yeah, there's no,
Nothing.
There's no monitoring, you know, here's a box of cookies, we started with a box of cookies, so we should have X number. We started with so many soda cups, we started with so many bags for the popcorn. You count the bags, you count the cups, you count the number, and you just have some kind of balance sheet there. And you know, if we're using high school students to do a lot of this work, and we need to be teaching them appropriate practices to kind of protect them. Because people see it and they say, you know, what's going on with this? So with that, it's just kind of make aware, Mr. BJ aware of it so that we can work, see if we can get a better procedure in place. Please? Please?
Just so that you know, our other financial consultant wrote a policy and had it signed, it's my item. But she went over it with all the department heads, all cash handling under department heads. And they, yes, sir.
Well, I knew there, this is the only thing that I can find. And this is where Cynthia Daly, when she was city attorney, she went through and explained what the procedures would be. I thought that when I originally was looking at all this, I thought all this was in the procurement, but it's not. Procurement is about purchasing stuff by bids. But, I mean, if it comes down to it, to get that cash being handled right, we do an ordinance, right?
Yes, sir.
And if it isn't fixed, I want it fixed immediately. If it's not fixed, I would like to have an ordinance. And you can make that happen, right?
Yes,
That's me. I'm just saying, that's what I like to see. That's it.
Okay.
And
Can I
that's
ask one
enough.
question, what was, since Richard brought up rec, Eastland? Can I ask, about scheduling, why we have all of our full-time employees there on Saturday? I mean, it's gotta be overtime for all of them except for Robert. And I thought that's why we got Robert, so that we could avoid some of that, and we paid him at a higher rate, so that we could avoid some of that. But I'm just trying to figure out what they're all doing there on Saturdays. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're taking off days in the week, they're making it up on Saturdays, but I'm just asking.
That's saying.
All right, two things from me. I think all of you received one of these.
Right.
Please look it over and give it your consideration. Bill and I will be meeting with this gentleman tomorrow morning at 10:30 for the discussion of this about honoring this infantry regiment of the Army. So please look at this, the background information that's provided here. And my second and final thing, in my 58 plus years of life, the good Lord above has blessed me with a multitude of proud moments. And tonight I get to add another one. And that was giving the oath of office to one of my former students. I appreciate her allowing me to have that honor. Thank you so much. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, let it know, saying aye.